Yo, who's that chillin' on the block next door? It's neighbor Pete, always got a smile and score, making moves.
I don't hear anything through this.
Yo, who's that chillin' on the block next door? It's neighbor Pete, always got a smile and score, making moves. He's the king of that front porch, flipping burgers on the grill, yeah, he's got the torch. Got a garden full of greens that he grows so neat. When you walk by, you can smell that summer heat. He's got stories for days, wisdom like a sage, watching out for the kids, he's our neighbor that's sage. Neighbor Pete, yeah, he's keeping it real. With the heart so big, you can feel how he feels. Always lend a hand, that's just his style. Neighbor Pete, man, he's making life worthwhile. Every Saturday night, we throw a block party. Neighbors gather round, everybody getting gnarly. He's got the tunes bumping from the old school vibes, turning up the volume, watch the energy rise. From the porch to the street, it's a cultural mix. Hip-hop beats flowing, and the crowd gets lit. He's spinning tales of times when the world felt right. Brick by brick, he's building bonds every night. Neighbor Pete, yeah, he's keeping it real. With the heart so big, you can feel how he feels. Always lend a hand, that's just his style. Neighbor Pete, man, he's making life worthwhile. He's the glue to the crew, always brings us together. Through the rain or the snow, he's our sunny weather. Got a skateboard in his trunk, living life on the edge, shouting out to the kids, yo, let's pledge. So here's to you, Pete, our neighbor, our friend. In a world full of chaos, you just transcend. From the city lights to the stars up high, you remind us to laugh, to love, and to try. So when the sun sets and the stars start to gleam, we'll raise a drink till you live in the dream. In this concrete jungle, you light up the street. Forever our buddy, that's neighbor Pete. Neighbor Pete, yeah, he's keeping it real. With the heart so big, you can feel how he feels. Always lend a hand, that's just his style. Neighbor Pete, man, he's making life worthwhile. So if you ever feel lost, just look to your street. There's magic in the moments with folks like Pete. Keep that love flowing, let the good vibes meet. In this neighborhood rhythm, we find our beat. If you ever feel lost, just look to your street. There's magic in the moments with folks like Pete. Keep that love flowing, let the good vibes meet. In this neighborhood rhythm, we find our beat. He's the glue to the crew, always brings us together. Through the rain or the snow, he's our sunny weather. Got a skateboard in his trunk, living life on the edge, shouting out to the kids, yo, let's pledge. He's the glue to the crew, always brings us together. Through the rain or the snow, he's our sunny weather. Got a skateboard in his trunk, living life on the edge, shouting out to the kids, yo, let's pledge. So here's to you, Pete, our neighbor, our friend. In a world full of chaos, you just transcend. From the city lights to the stars up high, you remind us to laugh, to love, and to try. So when the sun sets,
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the start of the 2025B season in the RevLimit Workshop Development Series presented by DesignPing, here at Chicagoland for the Neighbor Pete 135. My name's Alayton Norgard. Joining me in the booth is William White as race control, along with everyone's favorite Canadian, Robert Hill, manning the cameras. How are we doing tonight, guys?
I'm good. Having fun here at Chicagoland. I'm excited to start the new season. I'm going to be interested to see how this is going to be like to race control for the very first time. As obviously we've got a lot of new faces that I'm very unfamiliar with, but we've also got other familiar faces that we know are very, very quick and very, very capable of running up at the front. And it's going to be a mixed bag all season long to see who ends up taking the crown at season's end. So I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here as well. It's going to be a good season. A lot of cars here tonight. I think we're starting about 55, which is a lot more than we anticipated, but that's Will's fault. Nonetheless, it's going to be a great show out here at Chicagoland.
All right, let's take a look at the starting grid for tonight. Starting on the 4D Raceware pole is Presley Sora in his first race in the ARCA series, Indy Series regular there. Gavin Hibbs in second, Sean Leisure in third, Joe Francis in fourth, Cale Pocock in fifth, Jay Connor in sixth, Tommy Ryan in seventh, Caleb Becumer in eighth, Chris Albrecht in ninth, Noah Brown in 10th, Justin Vandermeer in 11th, Harrison Talon in 12th. Will, why don't you take us to 24th here?
Yeah, so row number 7, we've got Ty McIntosh and Corey Abbott, as well as Jess Story there in the number 92, running up the top 15. Tom Bourne is there in car number 16 in position number 16. Frank Foti and Timothy Watson, 17th and 18th. Joshua Clark and Kurt Gibson rounding out positions 19 and 20. Michael Hossack, championship 4 from last season, alongside BOR Shea Mitchell, Jeff Ryan and Jaden Racimas, 23rd and 24th.
And then we've got David Westergreen, 25th, Andrew Hardcastle, 26th. Kind of running through names quickly here before we get to the green. Gavin Higgins, Gavin Grubbs, Dominic Wright, Connor Thompson, Darren Staff, Hulk Johnston, Jacob Adams, Mark Kabilas, Wes Pauley, Cole Bear, Dustin Dewar, Scott Shive, Logan Shea, Austin Abnett, Brandon Ultra, Chris James, Rob Mooney, Josh Osborne, Mitch Haver, Dave Huckleberry, Prince Hausler, David Woods, Drew King, Anthony Cameron, Joseph Costello, Michael Goodman, Carlos Acosta, Jesse Costrell, and I lost the last name. But we're on the green.
And there was Dan Martinez there in last place there, 55th, and good job on just about mowing through their names just about in time, as 55 names is a lot to mow through in just one formation lap. But already you see Presley Sora out to the lead, Gavin Hibbs as well, Cup Series vet in second place there. And third place, returning elite driver Sean Leisure there. And the whole field packed up behind them. We know these cars are super aero dependent as well, Alayton, so I imagine we're going to see something of a pack race tonight here at Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. We did have a incident, the 25 car of Anthony Cameron has a meatball from whatever happened there. No yellow came out for that. We also have Josh Osborne slow on the apron with a meatball as well. Curious to see what happened on that first lap. It looked mostly clean, but at the back tail end of the field, something went wrong. But mostly still going with all these cars right now. Oh, we've got cars 4 wide down the backstretch. Are they going to hold that through the entire corner? It kind of narrowed out to 3 wide, so still sketchy, but well done by these guys here in the development series, keeping those cars on track. 5 wide down the front stretch, that didn't work out. Yeah, Ty McIntosh, first start in the ARCA series, and it's going to be a short one for him. He's done after that kind of hit.
William's going to have his work cut out for him on this one, Alayton. That was one heck of an incident over there for Ty McIntosh. He's going to get collected with a bunch of other cars. Cale Pocock had an incident just prior to this, but Ty McIntosh involved, Holt Johnson involved. That car you saw absolutely barreling through the incident late was the 17 of Cole Blair. Keep an eye open for him. Just a lot of cars involved in this one. West Pauley, Scott Shive, all picking up some pretty hefty damage. That's Cole Blair right there. He doesn't even lift going through this. I know it's the ARCA series, but ARCA brakes are not necessarily something we want to see out here on the racetrack. Josh Osborne, as you mentioned, was down pit road earlier as well. Drew King going to get collected in this one. I believe Carlos Acosta going to get a small piece of this. That's Scott Shive right there in the 81 machine. Joseph Costello involved. Gavin Grubbs involved. That is I know that paint scheme. That's kind of a play on Trayton Lapcevich's ARCA debut car from Phoenix a couple weeks ago. Cool look there. Of course, the Canadian driver, Trayton Lapcevich. As we look through, Michael Goodman was involved in this one. I believe he is already out of today's event. Corey Abbott also going to pick up a small piece of that one too.
Yeah, it was a monster of an incident, but I mean, with the cars going 4 wide through the corner and then 5 wide down the front straight, we're going to have a hard time making that work in the Cup Series, much less here in ARCA. So unfortunate as it is, kind of inevitable outcome there. There's a lot of cars with new paints this season, new drivers, new names in Elite in general. It's going to take a while for us to get used to these cars and be able to recognize them again. But yeah, a lot going on in that incident there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just taking a look here, Presley Sora, of course, for those that do follow the ARCA Menard series in the real world, Presley has made a couple of starts over there in that series. I believe he's slated to make a few more in 2025 as well. So a very strong driver there. You had mentioned Sean Leisure, or I believe Will might have, making his return to the Elite Racing League. He was last a consistent member of Elite back in 2019, so about 6 years ago, Sean Leisure was involved in Elite, so good to see him back out here on the racetrack with us tonight. And a couple drivers slowly on the move here so far. Gavin Higgins up 13 spots, Jacob Adams up 14, and Jesse Cottrell up 25 spots on the day. And it's very rare that you can say, yeah, he's plus 25, but he's still 29th on the racetrack. That doesn't usually happen, but again, special circumstances here tonight. And shout out, by the way, to Neighbor Pete hanging out over in the YouTube chat. Of course, this is the Neighbor Pete 135, a great friend of all of us here at the Elite Racing Network, Neighbor Pete. And we're glad to have him alongside with us here tonight as we get set to go green once again here, Alayton and Will.
Yep, coming to the green here. Presley Sora still in the lead. I think the front row is unchanged. I think it was Presley and Gavin Hibbs. Yes, it was. But going to be taking the restart here. It's going to be on Presley, so expecting him to get a pretty good jump with the control of the restart this time compared to the initial start. He is able to clear Gavin Hibbs before the line, so he'll have his choice heading into turn one. He's probably going to keep it low. See how the rest of the field is kind of doing through the towards the back. Everyone is still good so far through 1 and 2. See if we can get a pretty good run going here and get some green laps logged. I think Will is still dealing with that last incident as with his race control duties, so we'll still be waiting to hear his input on the outcome of that.
Yeah, he's a busy boy right now, so we'll wait and see what he has to say as we watch Justin Vandermarl work his way up to the rear end of Joe Francis. Joe rocking the number 56 here tonight, which is a little different for Joe. Not used to seeing him in that number, but I believe he has some ties with Pro Edge Racing. I may be wrong, and if I am, Ethan Burrell will hop into the YouTube chat and tell me such. But good to see Joe out here. Justin as well. Justin rocking the LP Dumoulin tribute car here, the number 80 machine with those rear quarter panel numbers, the WeatherTech entry, and if he could, that would be a dodge, but unfortunately iRacing took that away at the last second. As the 92 adjusts, Story has contact with the outside wall once again. This is not going to end well, I don't think, for Justin Vandermeer. Actually, it does. He got really close there with Gavin Higgins, but nonetheless, these guys able to continue on and not have too much of an issue as we see Jacob Adams dive down to the apron here. Alayton trying to make an additional line work around the Chicagoland Speedway.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of cars running down the apron here at Chicagoland. A lot more so than you would if this was an Indy car, for example. These stock cars handle that transition pretty well. Cuts a little bit of time off the your run down the front straight, but you always got to be careful coming back up onto the track because you're not entirely guaranteed that cars are going to leave space for you there. But if they don't, it's generally going to be an incident. One thing I want to comment on here is Justin Vandermeer's paint. One thing he's pretty proud about with that is the numbers on his quarter panel there instead of the traditional door position, something that these ARCA cars have been known to run in real life. And he's able to take advantage of that here in the Elite Racing League.
I can tell you one person that's not very happy with that. That's Chad Frankenfield, who does not like quarter panel numbers, but that's something common up here in the NASCAR Canada Series, as well as in the ARCA Menards East and West Series. You see that quite often. There is Tommy Ryan falling to the rear of the field. Issues for the 66 machine as he's going to take a pit side here in the RevLimit Workshop Development Series this season, presented by DesignPing. Glad to have them on board with us all season long. William is back with us. Will, what's the call on that latest incident, my friend?
Yeah, so I very much had my hands full.
We can tell.
For those incidents. Yeah, no, definitely. So initially, the lap 1 incident, there was an incident between Pierce Hausler and Josh Osborne that ended with some certain calamities. So the 61 was assessed a tally for that one, for severe damage. And then 2 tallies were out for the caution incident. First one went to Josh Clark for initiating the 5-wire contact. Second one went to Colbert for flying in like a big old Arca missile. So just communicating, obviously we have to be better at slowing up for incidents. It's the development series these guys are learning. So I'm not going to hound them for it. It's just something these guys need to learn. You need to be better at slowing down when incidents are happening up ahead of you. Since then, we've not had to assess any tallies, but obviously you saw the 66 of Tommy Ryan come down pit road. That is because he's kind of been parked retrospectively in that his win at Kansas about 48 hours ago in the Juicy Spider Truck Series was his 5th win in Elite. And for those that don't know, the RevLimit Workshop Development Series has a limit of 5 wins. So if you have more than 5 wins in any Elite Series, you are ineligible to compete. And seeing as he was signed up when he had 4, but now has 5 before the season starts, he now cannot compete. Unfortunately for Tommy. Yeah, that's why you saw him slow down and come down pit road and park it for the night.
We've got Ty McIntosh here from the Infield Care Center. Ty, you want to tell us about what happened to you here?
That happened so fast. We were good. I felt like we started okay. I know there was issues in the back, and we ended up going 3. Caleb got into the wall off of 2, and I got right front damage, which I haven't ran the ARCA car that much, but I had the right front cave in a little bit, and suddenly I got into 3 and 4, and the car just would not turn. So I babied it through 3 and 4, and then I don't know what happened. The 36 had a huge run. We were already 4 wide. He stuck at 5. I got turned there, and then the 17 came in. I felt like he was Jerome Bettis and I was a linebacker. I got absolutely cleaned out. But it's unfortunate. I was looking forward to it. This is the first outing for me with South Shore here in Elite and the 3Y TV machine. So comic book themed was definitely, fitting. I got bang, binged, and pow. So I'll take it.
Yeah, it's good to hear that you were able to speak to us after that hit that you took there. But hope you have some better luck next week and a good season going forward.
I hope so. I hope to not look like a linebacker out there. I would like to keep my car intact.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Ty. And we've got a yellow with what number is that? The 19 of Jaden Racimus involved.
Well, we'll go ahead and get that one pulled up here. Alayton. Looks like Carlos Acosta may have been involved or just gone through the infield to avoid that Jaden Racimus machine. But let's see what happened to the driver of the number 19 car. Looks like it might have been back around Caleb Pecumer. As we'll pull up Jaden Racimus here. Racimus in the middle. That's the 30 on the bottom. And Mark Rabilis up on that high side. The 30 being Connor Thompson. Yeah, that is pretty massive. Big hit to the outside wall there for Jaden. And let's see where Carlos comes into play here. Because it looks... Oh, there it is. Carlos doing a great job going through the grass to avoid that incident. But nonetheless, Jaden Racimus is on pit lane. And we have a new race leader. We missed that pass for the lead while talking with our good friend Ty McIntosh. But Gavin Higgins made a pass on Presley Sora to take over the top spot. Let's watch that now. As you see the Hibbs design. I meant Gavin Hibbs, not Higgins, of course, as he goes up on the high side, takes over the race lead. And I believe it's all for naught, as the whole field is going to come down pit lane. I don't necessarily blame them here, as we'll go ahead and
since 2010, race fans have had...
Step away real quick. When we come back, we will have continued coverage of the Neighbor Pete 135 on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy. Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge of your seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
All right, we are coming back to green here. Had a bit of a shuffle on pit road. We now have Jay Connor and Joe Francis on the front row. Not entirely sure what happened with Gavin Hibbs to drop him out of the lead, and Presley Sora lost several spots as well. But Jay, starting on the outside, takes the start, gets a very good jump over Joe Francis. We'll see how far we can go through. With Gavin being at the back of the pack, it looks like he must have gotten a speeding penalty, so that's very unfortunate for him after having just taken the lead before that yellow came out. But yeah, back at the front, Jay is still in the lead. Joe Francis has closed that gap back up. Noah Brown, a new name here in Elite, is also getting right up there into the fight. Oh, side by side with Joe Francis. We'll see. I think the bottom is generally preferred if you can run it, but with the car above, some netcode behind. Yeah, that was some more netcode contact there that caught Presley Sora, and I think it was Chris Albrecht. After, as I was saying, coming up off the bottom, you get pinched down, and that really kills your run. I think that's what let Gavin Hibbs pass Presley Sora earlier, and that also puts you in a situation where, with this ARCA car, it seems like when the car on the outside hits the wall, that triggers netcode that can cause some contact, that ghost contact with the car on the inside, and we saw that bite Jaden Racimus for the previous yellow and Presley Sora here for this one. On board with David Westergreen here. Is he able to avoid Presley here? No, that's where his left rear damage comes from. Did David get any front end damage from that, or was that kind of lucky? Nope, center of his front end is kind of punched in, so he didn't get out of that clean. With the speeds that you run here at Chicagoland, that front end damage is definitely going to hurt him quite a bit. So yeah, we're seeing him come down pit road, already down pit road actually. But yeah, that was hopefully we stop seeing these netcode contacts here fairly early in the season, because that is definitely hurting multiple guys' races already this early in the race.
That's all we can hope for, is that we don't see many more of these. While we're under caution, though, let's give a shout out to our series sponsor in RevLimit Workshop. Check them out over on X for all your design and logo needs. RevLimit Workshop is a proud partner of the Elite Racing Network, and of course DesignPing coming on board this season as well. DesignPing is a design agency that specializes in creating websites and digital content that not only look incredible, but also enable your business to outperform all of your competitors. Make sure you check out DesignPing.com to learn more. And of course, a big shout out goes to neighbor Pete, hanging out in the YouTube chat each and every week, a proud supporter of the Elite Racing Network. And why don't we go ahead and hear from our friends at Blue Egg Marketing.
Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
All right, we are 1 to green here at lap 28 of 90. Jay Connor is still in the lead. Jill Francis in second. Jay is taking the outside again for the restart. His choice as leader to choose the lane that he wants to start in. Run through the top 10 here as Robert is flipping through them. Jay Connor, Joe Francis, Noah Brown, Jacob Adams in 4th, Chris Albrecht in 5th, Sean Leisure in 6th, Gavin Higgins in 7th, Justin Vandermeer in 8th, Tom Bourne in 9th, and Michael Hossack rounding out the top 10. As we are coming around to take the green here now. Not quite as much of a jump for Jay this time, but definitely still a good one. He is going to be able to clear into turn 1 very easily. Got some guys looking to go 3 wide a little further back, with Caleb Acumer on the bottom kind of losing out there. In the front, actually, 3 wide. Someone just blew up. Who's that, 49? That's Sean Leisure. Just kind of getting shuffled back in the middle. Actually, no, he's not getting shuffled back anymore. He held on. Gavin Higgins kind of lost some momentum off of turn 4 and kind of gave that spot back to Sean. And we've got another yellow with the 41 of Frank Fody involved.
Take a look and see what happened to Franklin Fody. See David Westergreen to his high side. David Hunkleberry just up the road. The 36 is there as well. That's Josh Clark. Looks like Frank might clear himself up there in front of David Westergreen, and the closing rate just doesn't play in his favor, sends Frank around and puts us under caution once again here at the Chicagoland Speedway. I believe that's caution number 4 of the day. Feels like a lot more though, Alayton.
Yeah, we spent, it feels like quite a lot of time under yellow here already, but with 4 cautions, it's, well, just the start of this one, probably, I guess it's almost a third of the laps under yellow so far. But hopefully these guys can get things under control and stay on track and get some green laps here after this one. Kind of looked to me like Frank Fody was moving up, and then in response, David Westergreen was trying to swing back down underneath him. But that gap between them kind of disappeared a little too quickly and just kind of got together there.
To win the blue egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with blue egg, fueling small businesses to win big. Fueling big to win big. Blue egg, fueling small businesses to win big. Ooh, ooh, big. Huh. To win big, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with blue egg, fueling small businesses to win big. Ooh, win big.
All right, back from that word from our sponsor Blue Egg, and we are 1 to green once again. We don't have Will here at the moment, so we'll probably have to circle back to him to get his response to this. But Robert, let's talk about our race picks here. We normally do that a little earlier in the race, but with all the names to go through before the start, we didn't really have a lot of time for that. So who's your pick for this, Robert?
Well, unfortunately, my pick to get the win in Josh Osborne is out of the race here today, so I'm going to go with Jacob Adams in the 48 machine. Who do you have, my friend?
I'm going to kind of go with the lazy pick here with Jay Connor, our current leader, coming to the green flag here. Gets another good jump. I think he's in a pretty good position here for the remainder of this race, kind of able to control his destiny better than anyone else in the field right now. If anything happens, it's going to be behind him. So that's definitely kind of the best case for him at the moment. Although with Joe Francis looking to his inside, he might not have that clean air in front of him for much longer. Third air is one of the things that this ARCA car does have, this new ARCA car has, that the old one didn't as much. So that lead car does have an advantage. They're three wide
for the
into
lead.
turn 1 with Noah Brown cutting up the middle between Joe Francis and
here
Jake
comes
Hanna. He
Jake
finishes
Adams
that
now.
pass.
Yeah, Jake Adams coming up through the middle now. That's the battle for the second, third, and fourth positions. That is Tate. I was going to say Tate Lytle on the bottom. We're having an issue towards the rear, and that is Gavin Hibbs going to go around the DesignPing. Hibbs design. Oh my gosh, he's broken.
That left front is gone.
Yeah, that's not the way you want it to be. Let's see what happened here to Gavin Hibbs. Oh, the 42 comes down a little bit. Gonna collect him there. That's Logan Shea. Sends Hibbs down into the inside wall. Caution flag displayed once again. But yeah, that was a great battle up towards the front. And Alayton, you mentioned the new ARCA car here tonight. This is the official debut of the new look ARCA entry here in the RevLimit Workshop Development Series presented by DesignPing. We no longer have the wedged nose version of the ARCA car. We have an actual car out here now.
Yes, we have the symmetrical body. That's one of the big things for me. That skewed body on the old ARCA car would always catch the wall when you thought that you were clear of it, and just kind of drag you along for way too long. And that should no longer be an issue with this car. But for the time being, at least, we've kind of traded that for the neck hook contact if you get in the wall side by side with someone. So yeah, hopefully that's something that's resolved fairly quickly by iRacing. But yeah, it's got a dedicated super speedway body. I have yet to actually see that. I haven't run any super speedways in this, but we do have one coming up at some point soon. I have to look at the schedule for that.
While we're doing that, why don't we go ahead and bring up a driver here for a quick chat. They're currently sitting just outside the top 10. Actually, instead of that, William's back. Will, welcome back.
Hello.
We thought you disappeared there.
Yeah, no.
Why don't you give us a rundown of what you were doing?
Sorry?
I said, why don't you give us the rundown of what you were doing?
I was doing a lot. So, tally-wise, I gave additional tallies for the two most recent caution incidents, one for David Westerby and one for Logan Shea. With the Sora Albrecht context being a no-call on account of more abhorrent amounts of netcode. Between that, Pocock, Costello, and Inabnet were also given EOLs for having passed before the start-finish line. So that was a whole lane change mess, of which I was learning the exact protocols of on the fly. That was a bundle of fun. And I've just about caught up with all my homework for tallies and whatnot, and now we are here. So now I can actually hit the live button for the first time in about 20 laps. Hopefully, I can now have some peace and quiet and just enjoy the racing for a little while before going back to race control duties.
Well, Alayton,
That was certainly a time.
while we have Will here, why don't you go ahead and ask him that most important question of the night?
Yeah, we had to kind of start without you, Will, but race picks, we didn't have a chance to do that at the start of the race. So who's your pick to win this race?
Yeah. See, I have had eyes on the other 43 of Timothy Watson for some time, and he currently sits 15th. He's doing quite well. Obviously, that is my number. I'm not in the ARCA series anymore. So I want him to do well. However, for a race pick, my race pick was Presley. He did get junked, so I'm gonna change my race pick quite cheekily to, as we go back green, I'm gonna go for a bit of an outside one. I'm gonna go for the 24 of Michael Harsack. Bit of an outsider pick. Championship for last season.
Yeah, that's not too bad. We picked, Alayton went with Jay Connor. I went with Jacob Adams, so not too bad.
Good picks for sure.
Yeah, your car that you like of the 43 immediately went 3 wide with Philip Keemer and the one of Harrison Allen, but they kind of kept things together. He's still 3 wide with Carlos Acosta and Darren Staff. Not having the best restart here is Timothy Watson, but it looks like he's got a bit of clean air behind him if he can fall back a little bit. But back at the front, we still have Noah Brown in the lead after he made that 3 wide pass on Jake Hayner and Joe Francis. But yeah, those other two are still second and third, with Jacob Adams right behind in fourth, kind of looking to get to the outside of Jay Connor here. Don't know if he'll have anywhere to go with Joe in front of him, but he might look to take it 3 wide if he gets the opportunity. Drivers are not shying away from that here so far tonight, especially even after that 4 wide and 5 wide on the front straight that caused that initial yellow of the night. He drives down to the inside of Joe Francis. He does clear Jay Connor to do that, but still only in third. Tom Bourne coming up here. He's up into fourth, looking for third. 3 wide with Jay Connor as well now.
Yeah, the aero in these cars absolutely nuts. The runs that you get, especially at a track like Chicagoland, as Jay Connor gets all sorts of tight out of turn 2, Tom Bourne slaps the wall. All sorts of carnage going on. But just the runs you get, it almost incentivizes you to kind of go 3-4 wide, because it's either that or there's a yellow out. I've got race control duties, but the aero is nuts, and it kind of encourages that sort of pack racing, which is why you see that sort of thing going on. So yeah, but 6th caution of the night.
Yeah, the O2 Carlos Acosta was involved. He came into that later on. Looks like it started further forward with Jess Story, 3 wide off the corner.
Dominic Wright was involved. Carlos Acosta was involved. David Westergreen going to get a piece of that one. That's the 62 getting involved in Chris James and the 92 of Jess Story. That sends Robilas back up the track. Presley Sora gets a big piece of that one as well, as these guys just cannot stay off each other at this point, Alayton. It's almost magnetic at this point towards the rear. A couple takers on pit lane from the top 5. Tom Bourne, Jacob Adams, Chris Albrecht. They're all going to come down, as well as Connor Thompson, Andrew Hardcastle, Dusty Dewar, Darren Staff, Harrison Talon, and many, many others. But your new top 5 for the upcoming restart: Noah Brown, Joe Francis, Jake Connor, Michael Hosick, and Sean Leisure. The rest of the top 10: Justin Vandermeer, Gavin Higgins, Caleb Kumer, Kurt Gibson, and Holt Johnston.
And we do have Presley Sora kind of moving back up a little bit. He's down on pit road. It looks like his car is repaired at this point, so we'll be looking at him kind of making a charge back up towards the lead if he can. Looks like he's coming off pit road in P19 currently.
He does have an advantage with his pit box being located where it is, towards the tail end of pit road, but let's go ahead and see if we can have a chat with one of our drivers. I want to see... Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull in Andrew Hardcastle for a quick word with Alayton Norgard.
Hey, Andrew, it's Alayton up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
How's this race going so far for you? It's been... I haven't seen you pop up in incidents too much. Have you been able to keep it clean?
I've been able to keep it clean, but it is very, very chaotic. There's people all over the place at every single one of these restarts, and we have had quite a few of them.
Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like you're going to be able to kind of move forward here if things can kind of settle down and get some green laps going?
If we get a decent little run here, yeah, I think I can. It's hard to really get a whole lot going with the short restarts that we've had the last few. But if we get a few laps, I can pick up a few spots, and I should be able to get at least somewhat back to where I was before I pitted.
All right. Well, looks like you've got some fresh tires and some cars on old ones in front of you, so be looking at you to be making some moves here when we go back to green. So good luck with the rest of the race, and hope to see you on the podium at the end.
Thanks.
And we are 1 to green and coming back with Noah Brown still in the lead. He is on older tires along with the rest of the top 10. Looks like the first car on fresh tires is currently Jacob Adams in 13th. So these top 12 are going to definitely be struggling to hold on to any sort of positions from the cars behind them. As get kind of a slow start from on the outside with the 4 car of Holt Johnston, but slow start or not, as long as they keep it clean at this point, that's what I'm looking for. William, you're back. Do you have a new incident report for us?
I do. So I was speaking of incident
Gotta make a new one.
report, Pierce Houslett and Timmy Watson are in the grass, but we're still green. I'll look at that in a sec. But yeah, Dusty Dua was assessed the latest tally for that latest incident. So yeah, right now we have to scoot back to have a look at more incidents. Yay!
Yeah, it's cars getting close to each other and just kind of not staying in line very well, but still underway here. Where do we have cars with tires currently? Tom Bourne is on fresh tires in 11.
That's right.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen these new tires moving forward faster than we have.
Battle for the lead.
Jacob Adams was in 13th, and he has actually fallen back to 15th already. So kind of not going as I expected them to here.
Well, the big thing is, too, Alayton, you have to remember, a lot of these guys that stayed... never mind, we're wrecking Tom Bourne.
There's fresh tires on Tom Bourne going 4 wide and going for a spin in the grass.
I think we're going to stay
green
green,
for that.
hopefully. Let's back this one up, take a look. But what I was going to say is these guys that did come down earlier on haven't really put too much wear and tear on these tires. So I don't know that the tires are making that big of a difference. As you see 4 wide here, that's the 88 down on the bottom of Kurt Gibson. And Tom Bourne was going up through the middle. It just closes off as the caution flag is displayed. I believe
That's Justin Vandermeer. He got in the wall hard.
Ooh.
I was on board with Presley Sora and just saw a flash of black go by his car and had to rewind and see what was going on there.
Alayton, take a look at this. Look at the left rear quarter panel of the Vandermeer machine. Let me see if I can get a half decent view of this. I think this is going to be mega netcode again. Yeah.
Well, it is definitely netcode, but by the standards of what we've seen so far tonight, that's pretty reasonable netcode. So it's kind of sad to say, but I think that's going to be the end of Justin Vandermeer's night here. We are seeing the cars that stayed out previously coming down pit road now for the most part.
New leader, Josh Clark.
Josh Clark, the one car that still has not pit.
Presley Sora,
now 24-lap old tires.
Connor Thompson, Jacob Adams, Chris Albrecht, Brandon Ultra, Andrew Hardcastle, Dusty Dewar, Shay Mitchell going to stay out as well. And rounding out the top 10 for this upcoming restart, Dave Huckleberry. And Tom Bourne going to stay out in 11th, even though he just went through the grass. Something tells me these guys that are going to be on the newer tires will have an easier time now, because there's a couple damaged cars towards the tail end of that old tire group.
I think Tom Bourne is totally fine staying out here. I don't think he actually got any damage from the contact and spin into the grass. It was just kind of a nudge more than a hit. So this yellow is definitely a good timing for him. Kind of regains the ground that he had lost and gets some positions back with those cars going down pit road. His tires will suffer a little bit from sliding, but with most of that being in the grass, it's not going to hurt him too much. But yeah, these guys have that pit previously on the previous yellow. They have 4-5 laps of racing on their tires at most. So these cars that have stopped here, they will have a small advantage, but I don't think it's going to be that much, especially with this yellow here, to let the tires cool back down a little bit.
Ethan Burrell over in the YouTube chat cheering on Pro Edge Racing driver Joshua Clark, currently leading the way. Presley Sora to his outside, Connor Thompson, Jacob Adams row 2, Chris Albrecht, Brandon Ultra row 3, row 4. Andrew Sandcastle and Dusty Dewar, with Shea Mitchell and Dave Huckleberry rounding out your top 10. There goes Corey Abbott going a lap down to your race leaders. He will restart in position 29 as the field heads down the back straightaway. Coming to the restart this time, Alayton.
Yeah, it looks like Corey came off pit road just a little bit too late to stay on the lead lap there. His car is still not driving entirely straight after the instance that he was in earlier in the race, so he's definitely going to be looking for another yellow to kind of get some more repairs done and hopefully a lucky dog to get back in this race. But here at the front, we've got Josh Clark and Presley Sora back at the front after his earlier issues with netcode. Coming to the green here, Josh Clark is the control car on the inside. See how much of a jump he gets. A pretty good one, but he is on the oldest tires on the track right now, so I don't expect him to be able to hold on to that lead for more than a lap or so, unfortunately for him. But 3 wide already. Is that 32
Dusty
Dewar?
Dewar, yes it is.
Brandon Ultra on the outside and
Chad
Hardcastle on the
Frankenfield,
inside.
Andrew Hardcastle up here in this one. Frankenfield into the outside wall. Hardcastle
Bit of a blink
blinking.
from
Oh no.
Hardcastle there. More than a blink. He's still okay. Now he's back in.
He's in Magic
He
Man.
dropped back. I think he lifted when he blinked out. So must have had the entire field disappear for him, and he kind of backed out out of panic.
Now, we have a question in the YouTube chat for you, Alayton Norgard, regarding Andrew Hardcastle. The question is, why does Andrew not run Mondays anymore? Do you know the answer to that?
I can tell you he did not run last night because he didn't want to run Stafford. So at this point, it's pretty much the tracks that he doesn't like that he's not running, I think, is what's going on.
So he's being a picky pants as we have a lap car. Is that a lap car or is he actually still up there? David Woods. Yes, he is 1 lap down to the race leaders.
Definitely lap car.
Ooh, nearly into the outside
Line the
wall.
wall around the corner.
Welcome back,
Yeah,
Billy
that
Blanco.
way. Hi.
So what
Yeah, I
happened?
figured out
What'd you do?
I've been a very busy bee tonight. So for that second incident, Pierce Hausler was unfortunately caught for a second severe damage penalty for his contact with the wall and by association Darren Stapp and Timmy Watson. And then, as I'm sure you saw on the broadcast, the incident between Leisure and Vandermeer was another abhorrent case of netcode, so that was just a no call. And that brings us to present day.
Welcome to present day. Actually, you are a day ahead, so that is not
That's
accurate.
true. It is no longer April Fools over here in the United Kingdom, so
You were
can't
just
play any
always a
pranks on
fool
me.
now.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's
That's
1:24 a.m. on the 2nd of April. So, no April Fools for me. Although these lot seem to still be fooling around quite a bit. I'd like some green flag racing, ideally, just so I can have a moment's peace.
No peace for you as Josh Clark falls back to the 5th spot now. He's going to look to the inside of Chris Albrecht. Albrecht looking pretty good here so far tonight. Currently sitting up in the 4th position. A couple other guys. Surprising run so far. Holt Johnston in a battle with Shea Mitchell. That's for the 11th position. Both of these guys doing a nice job here tonight. Maybe this new ARCA car playing into their cards just a little bit.
We've currently got 27 cars on the lead lap, so we've definitely had quite a bit of attrition from the 54, I believe, that started the race. That's exactly half, actually. A lot of those cars are out. There are still cars on track running multiple laps down, though, so still a decent number of cars on track. Before we get to this final third of the race, I wanted to do we did race predictions, but this being the first race of the season, I think we should do season predictions as well. Who do you guys think has a good shot at the championship here? We'll start with you, Will, before you have to disappear.
Well, I'm having a look at who I'm seeing on the grid right now in this race, and there are some names here which, if they're running full time, will absolutely cause issues. I'm looking at the likes of Presley Sora, who currently runs in the lead, or in second place, as Connor Thompson's actually just taken the lead. I'm looking at guys like Gavin Hibbs, Corey Abbott as well, Michael Harsack. I think I'm going to, it's under the presumption that he's running full time, I'm going to back Presley Sora for the championship. I know I've raced him in stock cars before and he's bleeding quick. So I am going to, assuming he's running full time, Presley Sora will be my champion pick for this season.
How about you, Robert? Who do you like for this season?
Presley Sora is definitely a really good pick, but I'm going to go with someone that's kind of been around Elite just a little bit longer, a driver that's paid his dues coming up through the ranks here in this league, and I'm going to go 3 spots behind him in the running order. I'm going to stay above the border here in Canada. I'm going to go with Michael Hasek to get it done this season for Covered Bridge Racing as he goes for a bit of a slider.
He just slapped the wall.
That was like instant announcer's curse right there.
Youch.
Yeah, these cars don't like to get loose, but he got it loose there.
That he did. Alayton, who's your pick?
In the interest of not jinxing a teammate, I am going to give my pick to Gavin Hibbs. He's been a contender up in the Cup Series and Xfinity Series. I think he definitely has what it takes to make something happen here in ARCA as well. He hasn't had a good race tonight. He is currently on pit road, 26 laps down.
44th.
But I think he can come back from that.
Speaking of pit road, by the way, Kurt Gibson taking a pit side. Ooh, Curtis picked up some heavy front end damage, and I think it involves Shea Mitchell, as these guys have absolutely destroyed their stuff here over the last handful of moments.
Shea's got his car.
We're going to back that up manually and just see what happened. Nothing's pulling up on the timeline here. Watching Shea Mitchell go in reverse. There it is. Oh, boy. Ooh. Oh. Somebody was up in the outside wall right there. Who was that?
Corey Abbott on the wall.
That was old Corey. So Shea's going to get hooked right there by the P Cucumber into Kurt Gibson. Gibson just nowhere to go. This is unfortunate. Obviously, I'm not race control, but to me, that's kind of a racing deal. Just a lot of stuff going on in tight quarters, but race control will make that call accordingly and has done a great job here so far tonight. As we tick over to 25 to go, shout out to Alexander Ned. This was always his favorite part of the broadcast when we went from showing 17 of 90 to 25 remaining. That's always a good moment here in these race broadcasts. It means it's almost over in tonight's Neighbor Pete 135.
And we've got Presley Sora in the lead here. Got it back from Connor Thompson. He has been out for 22 laps since his last stop. If we go green to the end, he can make it on fuel. A full fuel tank is about 50 laps here. So to the end would be about 47. So these cars can go to the end on their current tires and fuel load. Hopefully we can stay green to the end. I want to see some long run pace here from these drivers and get a sense of where they're going to be at through the rest of the season.
One thing just to quickly point out, we had a championship pick as the field goes by David Woods. We had a championship pick over in the YouTube chat. Ethan Burrell picking Gavin Higgins to get it done this season, and I gotta say that's a pretty good pick. He was very strong last season, only got better as the season went on, and I would expect Gavin to be very competitive all season long here in the RevLimit Workshop Development Series presented by DesignPing.
Yeah, he was just on the backstretch giving Brandon Ultra a shove all the way down. He's trying to make some ground up here, running in P8 currently. 3 wide with Jay Connor and Connor Thompson there. Yeah, Brandon Ultra, Gavin Higgins, Jay Connor, I believe, are all teammates, or at least real-life friends, at the very least.
I think Connor Thompson drives for Shift Esports now here in the Elite Racing League, but Gavin and Jay definitely teammates, as something's just happened up front here. Someone got the outside wall. Not sure who it was, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter because they've kept it clean.
And Jacob Adams looking for a move on Michael Hossack. Dove it down to the bottom through 1 and 2, but with that run up top, Michael is able to defend that. Jacob going for the same thing through 3 and 4. If you can get him cleared, he can kind of cut his run off, but that's always risky as well. He does try it. Hossack does cut down below and still runs back by, kind of bringing with the 16 of Tom Bourne as well.
Gavin Higgins getting into that fight as we're about to look 3 wide. Hossack up top, Bourne in the middle. That is Jacob Adams on the bottom side, trying to work his way up into position number 3. Here comes Noah Brown up into that fight as well, just on the inside of Tom Bourne. And what you're seeing is these guys going down to the apron, trying to snake their way down that front straightaway, see what they can do to maybe cut off the run of the guys behind them as they work their way into the closing stages of this one. It's Sora, Albrecht, Adams, Hossack, and Bourne, your top 5. Brown, Higgins, Connor, Thompson, and Joe Francis, the top 10, as we are under caution. Did Will fall
Carlos
coming up the
Acosta's
stairs?
involved in that.
Let's take a look. David Woods just went to pit road as well. Let's see what happened to Carlos. It's the 49 machine right there. Sean Leisure. Jaden Racimus right... Oh, whoa. What in the...
It's more of that netcode with that outside car getting the wall and the car inside just disintegrating in response.
I want to let out an expletive right now on how bad that was, but I won't because Dave will get mad. Let's ride on board with Carlos and see his car just explode. They don't even make contact. This is stupid. As he goes down to the infield. Alayton, are you scanning the in-game radio right now?
Yeah, I can tell you that Carlos Acosta let out that expletive that you wanted to. He is not happy about that happening.
His car looks okay.
Yeah, it looked like it exploded with that contact, but then it immediately reassembled itself.
It's perfectly fine.
Just lost some ground.
Oh man, that's what we call BS right there. That is stupid. You know what? We're gonna step away real quick. When we come back, we'll probably see a couple more cautions, maybe some more explosions, but we'll bring you the conclusion of the Neighbor Pete 135 here on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll probably be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge of your seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
All right, we are back here and coming to the green flag with Presley Sora in the lead and Michael Hosek in second. Very good jump on the inside from Jacob Adams. He's going to be looking to clear Michael Hosek off of turn 2 here if possible. If I don't think he'll actually be able to with the kind of run that they're getting right now. Michael's going to have the better run being higher up the track. We've got Jay Connor going around off of, I think that's Connor Thompson.
Well, let's take a look
And
at
that does
that
bring up
one.
yellow.
We really missed having cautions. Let's see what happened here. Well, that's tally on the 30. that was a pretty easy call right there. That was not.
He called
one of
that
those
out in game
goes.
as well.
Yeah, just an easy mistake.
Overvoiced tally on him.
Jay should be able to continue on as well with not too much issue. Just gonna be buried a little. Well, actually, not even buried further in the field because I think he only ended up losing one spot in that whole ordeal. So not too bad there. As we're under caution, why don't we go ahead and bring in Shea Mitchell for a word with Alayton.
Hey Shay, it's Alayton up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, evening.
Want to walk us through your race and how it's gone so far?
Well, the ping pong in there seems the net code. We just kind of got stuck together there. Unfortunately, I got turned. We were free wide while Corey was stuck in the wall there. I cleared Corey, but just got hooked from behind, went down the track, and then we just ping ponged off each other and got stuck. But definitely a different car to drive compared to the Legacy Arca now.
Would you say it's easier to drive for you, or kind of just a different car?
It's adjusting to it. Definitely drives a lot tighter than the old one. I haven't seemed to got the rear end loose on this yet, so it's a little bit of a different experience trying to get used to it for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the sentiment that I've heard from a lot of people on this car. Definitely had some issues with netcode as well. Have you been caught up in any of those wrecks here tonight?
No, so there was a couple of wrecks earlier. I don't know how I made it through. I thought I was definitely going to be involved with cars hitting me, but I seem to miss them. I know there is a bit of a glitch kind of with the wall and people bouncing off of it, but personally haven't experienced that myself yet.
All right, well, we see your car there on pit road not looking so great, but hopefully
I'm done.
you have
It's
some,
meatballed.
yeah,
There's
hopefully you have
nothing to
some
go
better
back
luck
to.
next week and can get some good finishes in through the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm just here racing what I can until I go up to the trailer with the kid for the summer. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hosting again, and you guys enjoy the rest of the race.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Lynn.
All right, we had a comment in the YouTube chat from Ethan Burrell asking or wondering if this car feels like the Gen 6 550 package. I never personally drove that car, so I can't really speak to that. I do know that this car has like 700. But this does have a heavy draft. We saw that a little earlier, a little bit with Josh Clark being able to stay on Presley Sora on the older tires down the straights, but then through the corners, Presley's able to just pull away. But
speaking of Josh Clark, though, Alayton, he's back up in the top 10, up to the 7th position. So a really nice recovery here for Oh, what the heck just happened right there?
I think we just wrecked on the yellow.
Gavin Grubbs just decided he was going to have a snack. in the rear of the field as he was looking for some grub there. Let's see what happened. Oh, David Woods went by. That's what triggers the caution. Oh, he gets run over, and that looks like one of the Lake Norman cars. I do believe. No, that's Goody. Michael Goodman gonna get involved in this one, I do believe. Yes, sir. So that puts us under caution for the 8,000th time here tonight.
Gavin Grubb's in the 15 car on the car, but it's actually the 2 car in game. So his paint is not correct for his car number.
It's the Venturini look there. Like I mentioned earlier, it's based off of Trayton Lapsevic's ARCA car from his debut a couple weeks ago, where he finished inside the top 3 at Phoenix, the former NASCAR Canada Series champion in that number 15 machine. Just a couple of shout outs to guys that have moved up through the field. Brandon Ultra up 31 spots. Jacob Adams up 30 spots. Those guys inside the top 10, but your biggest mover of the race so far by 7 positions, plus 38 on the day, is Carlos Acosta, currently sitting 15th. He started in, well, I'll do some basic math here, 53rd here tonight out of 54 that started. So good run for Carlos. Even blew up his car at one point into a billion pieces, but nonetheless a run to be proud of here for the 02 machine. The RK Racing number 02 ERN liveried entry here is still under caution once again. And another shout out to neighbor Pete being on board here with us tonight. Glad to have him here with us. And that was a 15 that just got involved in the caution. I wonder if he's going to appeal the tally, even though he's not going to get the tally on that. It's just common practice with the 15, right?
It kind of seems that way.
Sorry, Chad. But yeah, Ethan Burrell pointing out that Carlos could set the record for the biggest mover in an Elite Racing League race. That is very true. A couple more spots and he's definitely got that locked up. We'll see if he can get inside the top 10. He's shown good pace so far. A couple other guys I want to give shout outs to we haven't really talked about much tonight. Cale Pocock up in the 12th spot in that number 6 machine. He's doing a nice job. Caleb Pecumer, we talked about him, but not for good reasons. He's been involved in numerous incidents here tonight, but nonetheless up in the 13th position. Holt Johnston up inside the top 20, doing a nice job here. Joseph Costello in his debut, currently plus 31 in position number 20. Dave Huckleberry in 21st. Austin and Abnett we haven't mentioned yet, he's plus 18. Harrison Talon's in this race, and we'll go back up front as Presley Sora leads the way.
Yeah, we're 1 to green. We'll be going green with 7 to go here. I have some faith in these top 10 cars to be able to race pretty hard and keep it clean to the end. I was about to comment on that earlier a couple of yellows ago, and then we had a yellow come out for netco contact in the midfield. So the biggest thing that I'm looking for the rest of the race is for cars to not get into the wall. If you don't touch the wall, we don't get those big netcode contacts, and hopefully we can go green to the end. 7 laps. Let's see 7 laps of hard racing here, guys. And Michael Hossack does not get a good jump at all. Jacob Adams is going to clear him into turn 1 very easily. Chris Albrecht, is that the car on the inside? I think so. Yeah, he's also alongside Michael into turn 1. He'll be looking to clear up into P3 down the back straight here. Michael loses that run with Jacob Adams coming up in front of him. Now Chris Albrecht is able to look to go into second ahead of Jacob Adams. 3 wide, 4 wide down the front straight. Could have been 5, but Tom Board did move forward, made it only 4.
Man,
Still
these
clean
guys
though.
are racing hard right now. Coming to 5 to go. this upcoming time by. Looking 3 again. Oh, boys,
44,
don't wreck each other.
Michael Goody involved in that.
David Woods also going to be involved in this incident. Actually, no, sorry, that's David Westergreen going to get a piece of this one.
And
Rob
Rob
Mooney
Mooney.
also. Ooh, that's not good. South Shore Racing teammates going to get involved together. Let's take a look. There's David Westergreen. Michael Good. Oh,
Frank Fody might have been involved in the start of that.
yeah, we're going to back that up just a little bit here. Yeah, Frank Fody. We'll back it up again. Frank Fody and Michael Goodman going to come together. Looks like Goodman might... I don't know. That's hard to say. That's very close. But a couple other guys going to pile into this one. It's very late braking on that 09 or no break... Or not 09, sorry. That's... I'm thinking of the David Woods entry. The 98, sorry. 09 is David Westergreen. He does a fine job of avoiding that and then gets collected there by David Woods. The 49 also going to get involved in this one. That's Sean Leisure. So not the return he was hoping for, as we're under caution once again. That's going to... Whoa. Someone turn the
We had
lights
some
off?
clouds come out. It is dark.
Will, turn the lights back on, buddy.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to tell from the
That's
camera angle, but
odd.
it looked like Frank Fody entered on the bottom and then started washing up the track and collected Goody to start that.
Well, lucky dog, Jess Story going to get himself back on the lead lap here. That's going to give us 28 cars on the lead lap. Probably lose a couple there from that latest incident. But Jess Story, a nice recovery here. It's a good story for him as he works his way back onto the lead lap as we set up for the first of our green-white checkered attempts. Hopefully the drivers can see the flag as it has gotten insanely dark. Let's go on board with Presley Sora. Yeah, that's dark, Alayton.
Yeah, it's better than we saw at Auto Club in the Cup Series a couple weeks ago, but yeah, those must be some pretty thick clouds out there blocking a lot of the sun.
See if we can get a good
It is
look
still
at
up in the
those
sky,
clouds.
but it's just not reaching their track.
Well, the sun is definitely in the sky. That's usually how that works. But
Visible in the sky. Come on, Robert.
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
as we go 1 to green here, this is gonna be interesting. And do we use more than one green-white checkered attempt here, Layton? What do you think? I think this is a natural one, so we're not technically dipping into overtime as of yet.
It's hard to say. I think I still trust these top 10 at least to run clean to the white. I just don't know about the rest of the field. Those cars in the back half of the field are going to be looking to get as many spots as they can before the end to kind of salvage something out of the start to the season. But there comes a point where you kind of can't get too dangerous and just kind of accept what you can get without pushing for too much. Hopefully we'll be able to get William here before the end of the race to get some final reports on tallies, but
We'll see about that. He's a busy boy.
we'll be coming to green here off of turn 4 now, so we'll see how this restart goes. See if Michael Hossack can get a better restart than he did last time. Slightly better, but not nearly as good as he was looking for. He is able to stay alongside Jacob Adams, so that's definitely an improvement. Better than he did last time. So he'll be looking to get up into second and consolidate that position here on the back straight. Getting a push from Chris Albrecht, almost goes down and turns himself over Jacob Adams' nose from that push, but keeps it straight. 3 wide. Chris Albrecht goes around. We're going to have another green light checker.
From Albrecht to Albrecht right here. No, we're going to stay green.
No? Oh,
What?
that was well before the line.
Wow.
I thought there was no way that was staying green.
That's wild.
That's going to leave a lot of spots open for people that got through that cleanly.
Well, let's keep our
There's
eyes
a
on
lot
the
of cars
front
spaced
here
out.
as here they come to the start-finish line for the final time here to wrap up race number 1 of the season. The Neighbor Pete 135 checkered flag is going to be out here for Presley Sora. Jacob Adams second. At the line, it's going to be Noah Brown in third, Michael Hosick fourth, Brandon Ultra fifth, Joe Francis, Connor Thompson, Caleb Pecumer, Andrew Hardcastle, and Cale Pocock, the top 10. Your biggest mover of the race. Unfortunately, it did switch at the end. It is going to go to Joseph Costello, plus 39 on the day. He's going to finish in position number 12. But Presley Sora going to be your winner in race number 1 of the RevLimit Workshop Development Series presented by DesignPing. See if we can get a look at that final incident there. That was, I don't know what that was, but it was absolutely chaotic. Multiple cars going to be involved in that one. We'll just see if we can get a look at it. It's around Chris Albrecht, who goes from Albrecht to Albrecht, as he goes around, collects Tom Bourne, Gavin Higgins, Josh Clark. Bunch of guys going to get a piece of that. I saw Carlos Acosta lift for it, thinking the caution was coming out. If he didn't lift, I think he had a top 10 in his sights here today. But nonetheless, Presley Sora, your winner. We're going to step away. When we come back, Alayton and Will will talk to your top 3 finishers of Presley Sora, Jacob Adams, and Noah Brown. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge of your seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
All right, we are back with interviews with our top 3 finishers. We'll be starting with Noah Brown here in the 65 car. Noah, Alayton up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Was this your first race in Elite, just to confirm?
Yeah, first official race in Elite.
So top 3, third place in your first race. How does that feel for you?
It feels pretty good. Honestly, if we can keep it brief here, I'm a little ill, so that was really fun. I had a great time. It was awesome racing the guys that were up top, like Joe Francis, Jacob Adams, Presley Sora. That was really fun.
Yeah, we saw at coming to the white flag there, you had the 11 of Chris Albrecht right in front of you, and he got turned like right in front of your nose. Were you afraid you were going to get caught up in that, or did you feel pretty confident that you were clear of that and were able to go around safely?
Well, not to sound cliche, but I wasn't lifting until I saw a guide or the checkered flag. So, I just had to drive through it, and if I got clipped, I got clipped. Oh well. Coming to the white flag, it's about what I'd expect.
Yeah, that's fair enough. In the interest of keeping this short for you, but just end it here. Before we let you go though, any shout outs you want to give or sponsors you want to thank?
I want to thank Daniel Gore for throwing me the spot this race. He gave me good call outs the whole race. Burner Rubber Podcast, Nismo Records, 3 Wide TV, all of them are on the scheme as our sponsors. So just a special shout out to them.
All right. Well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish in your first elite race, and good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, and now we'll have Robert speak to Jacob Adams here, our 2nd place finisher.
Yeah, Jacob, obviously not the cleanest of races here tonight, but you were able to gain 31 positions en route to a 2nd place finish. Walk us through your night, and what more did you need to get up there and get by Presley Sora at the end?
Yeah, so one of those early cautions, I believe it was the one that Presley got net-coded around. I got down on the apron to get by it and got clipped real hard in the right rear. I had a bunch of right rear damage, but I knew with 55 cars starting, I couldn't go in and fix it and risk restarting 50th and having to come back through. So I kind of just had to deal with it. I couldn't really get going on the restarts. The damage was making me pretty sideways going through 1 and 2. So I was really hoping the last long run we had that it would just go green there, because I was really quicker on the bottom. Felt like I could have got up there and potentially won the race if we would have stayed green there.
And looking ahead on the schedule, obviously this being race number 1 of the season here tonight at Chicago, is there a track that you have circled on your calendar as maybe one that you would be among the favorites to grab that victory and work your way towards the playoffs?
Yeah, I'd have to reconsult the schedule here, but we got Kentucky next week. I think that's going to be a good one. Looking forward to Iowa. I think Iowa, if I had to circle one, it's going to be that one, and then probably Nashville.
So you have Iowa circled, which, by the way, is the I Wanna Be Neighbor Pete 75. Neighbor Pete's got a lot of races here this season, so that's definitely going to be an interesting one at the end of April. Looking forward to seeing that and seeing what you can do there. But Jacob, before we let you go, sponsors, shout outs, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so the guy that was supposed to be painting my car has been on vacation for a couple of weeks. I wasn't able to get a car put together, so I did one real quick with Marion's Pizza, my employer. I work there. I've got about 30 employees under me that some of them might be watching, so shout out to them if they are. And had Josh and Chris in my ear watching me race. Thank you guys for the broadcast, Chad for putting the league on, and just everybody that keeps this thing going.
Well, you deserve bonus points. If you had Chris right in your ear all night long, that's definitely tough to deal with. But congrats on the 2nd place finish here tonight, Jake, and we'll see you next week at Kentucky.
All right, thank you guys.
That was Jacob Adams, your 2nd place finisher. Now joining Alayton Norgard is our race winner, Presley Sora.
Hey, Presley, Alayton up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you.
So this was your first race in the Elite ARCA series and turned it into a win. Is that kind of what you expected out of this tonight, or did you think it was going to be... I mean, you had an up and down race to be sure, so let's actually have you walk us through your race to start with.
Yeah, I didn't really expect it, but I also didn't really know what the competition would be. I didn't really know who any of the competitors would be in the league tonight. I figured it'd be some of the regulars I see in the IndyCar side as well. So, yeah, I mean, it started out, I definitely didn't expect to get the pole, so that was a surprise. And just kind of tried to manage the lead at the beginning. And a few people got past me, but I was able to kind of work my way back around them in a lap or two. And then we had that one caution like 20 or 25 laps in, and I came out like 5th, and it got a little jumbled up at the front, and we had some crazy bad net code off of turn 2, and it like almost jump scared me from behind the wheel here, because it was like I was driving, and then all of a sudden it was like an explosion and popped my car to the left. And I was surprised at how little damage I had. I only had about a minute and a half, so came in, got that fixed after a couple cautions, and just kind of worked my way back up to the front. And then once I got up to the front, just kind of tried to manage. I mean, I don't think the whole race I was really ever going 100%. I was just, kind of biding my time and trying to save the tires a little bit on it. And, once I was up in the lead, just kind of defend with the air because it's so sensitive with these cars. So kind of watching the mirror a lot and watch where they would go, and I'd just follow them down. And that was pretty much all she wrote. And then the restarts, just the leader's got a pretty big advantage, so I didn't do too much with that. I left about the same time every go. Once the third place car would get rolling and bump me, that's kind of what I used as my marker on when to launch. So we did that a couple times, and then the final restart, just put it to the floor and let it go, and came away with the win.
Yeah, we saw you get caught up in that netcode contact. There was one incident in the race where there's at least 3 car widths of distance between the outside wall, the car on the outside wall, and the car that actually got hit by it. As a driver, is there anything you can do to avoid that, or is there anything you can do to stay safe from that kind of netcode?
Yeah, not really. I mean, there's some times where you can watch a guy kind of drift up towards the wall and know that it may kind of create that contact, but for the most part, it's just a complete surprise. So I know it caught me off, and these cars are really pretty bad about it right now, and I think it's just because they're a new launch. They've only been out for a couple weeks and haven't had too many updates, so I'm sure they'll get it under control here in within a month or two. But for right now, and since the release, it's been pretty tough. So you almost kind of have to expect it whenever you're in close quarters like that, and I know it obviously bit a few of us tonight, so I'm just glad I could come out on the other side of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, having driven with you for the past couple seasons in IndyCar, had a feeling you'd be a pretty strong contender here in ARCA, and you've definitely been showing that so far. So before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank or shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to my buddy Gavin, Runnings Racing Designs. He's the one that made the paint scheme. This is the same car I made the same car I drove in real life last year at Indianapolis Raceway Park in the ARCA race. So it's cool to have it here on iRacing. So yeah, shout out to Chad and everybody that puts on the league. You guys for broadcasting. I will say for everybody watching right now, I'm going to have a really big real life announcement here in about the next week or so. So if you keep tuned on my socials, just at Presley Sora on everything, you'll be able to see that, and I promise it will not disappoint. So I don't want to give away too much, but just keep an eye on my socials, and we'll have some cool stuff for you here pretty soon.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that, and keep an eye on you through the rest of the season, and good luck in future races, and we'll see you throughout the season.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, that was Presley Sora, your winner here tonight at the Neighbor Pete 135. Still don't have William White back with us after all of that chaos at the end.
He disappeared, so we'll do his closing statement. Oh, it was a great race here today, and lots of cautions and whatnot, but bloody hell, we'll be back next week and hopefully go green a bit longer and eat some flake and stuff. And yeah, Alayton, final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, without those netcode wrecks, I think this would have been a pretty solid race. It was still a good race, just a little more yellow than we would have liked to have seen. But saw some good racing up at the front, and definitely see some of the potential that these new ARCA cars have, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of see that potential realized through the rest of the season here. Yeah,
definitely going to be interesting to see what we can do the rest of the season, but that's going to do it for us here in the Neighbor Pete 135. My name is Robert Hill Jr. Joining me as always, Alayton Norgard and William White. We'll see you back here next week at Kentucky. Have a good night, everybody.